Thanks. Yeah, so on the day that Anita went to prison, I also was glad to go to prison as well, to Wandsworth. And I only did 10 days there, so I'm not claiming to be a true expert in all things related to that. And I met a lot of people who are serving long stretches for what I think are ridiculous crimes, like stealing a mobile phone. These sort of things can land you up for a long time, and the government has got a 3-strike policy that I don't think many people know about. What it means is if you get convicted of 3 crimes on a particular scale, for instance robbery or assault or something like that, they can give you an indefinite sentence, so you get 99 years when you go in, and then you have to seek parole. And getting parole is like getting squeezing water out of a stone. It's an extremely lengthy process which requires a lot of ingenuity, and about 50% of the prisoners in Wandsworth were on this sort of parole system, so none of them see themselves getting out, and then they end up getting into trouble. Maybe they get caught with a bit of some item that they're not supposed to have, and then that lengthens the length of time that they're going to be inside. So very often what someone would have served 3 or 4 years for, they end up doing 20 years for. Okay, and so basically I think that the criminal justice system should actually be referred to as the criminally unjust system, because it is absolutely unjust. And there's a lot of guys in there right now who, you know, have done very little. There's no victim of the crimes that they've perpetrated. And the crimes that are going on around the world are of a much severe magnitude, like the bombing of innocent countries and the death of millions of innocent people. And yet you've got guys sat in a tiny cell with very little ventilation, 23 hours a day, because they grew up in an unfortunate situation that meant they didn't have the same rights to get money like a lot of people who grew up in wealthier backgrounds, and so the only way they could see out was a life of crime. I don't see much difference in the motivation. They are aspirational. They want a car and a house, except that they don't feel they can access it through the normal means. Hello, Dean. Do you want to say something?
Well done, Simon. Love. Thank you, Simon.
No worries.
Bob, I don't want to lose you. I don't want to know everyone, yeah. But I want to stay forever, no matter what social services say.
Thanks, Dean. Just go recap quickly on the prison thing. Basically, if you go inside for breaking unjust laws, I can tell you that it is a good experience. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in prison. I've got to say, it was like some kind of retreat centre. I managed to get good books in the library, and that allowed me to really actually think a lot. And obviously I only did 10 days, so I don't know how it would be if I did 10 years. It may be a very different story. But I think as a nation we need to fill the prisons with activists. We need to absolutely clog the system with thousands of people breaking the laws. We should not be fearful of prison. We should embrace it. You know, let's absolutely saturate. Let's break all the unjust laws. Let us completely withdraw our cooperation and support for this government, because it does not deserve any dignified person's support. Who would support the bombing of innocent nations? Who would pay for that? If you are paying for that, I strongly recommend that you go about stop paying for that, because I'm sure even if you don't want to pay for it, if you are paying for it, it means that money is coming out of your bank account and it's ending up in the hands of companies like British Aerospace Engineering, who are building the Challenger 2 tanks, the rounds that are being fired and all that sort of stuff. So let's withdraw our support, let's fill the prisons, and slowly, peacefully, and with a great deal of humour, we can bring the whole thing to a grinding halt and then reform it. Anyway, peace be with you all. Lots of love. Bye.